Hey, Mother Trucker here, checking in. It's been so long since I made a video. You guys probably forgot what I look like. I need a haircut real bad. Sorry. And it's smoky looking in here because I've been vaping. I am in Van Buren, Ohio on a 34-hour break. Basically just really out of hours. I'm freezing my ass off because it was 39 degrees last night, or 37. Yeah. And really windy. 39 wouldn't be so bad, but it's really windy. And all I have is like a hoodie and short sleeve shirts and my new shoes that I bought. I found out they have like those little vent holes in the toes, you know? So yeah, my feet were cold. I was cold. But I haven't updated. I don't know why. Probably just I don't feel like I have anything good to say. I've been actually working on speaking to some of you guys more personally instead of just videoing, but you know, the whole point of me doing videos was to kind of chronicle some things. So I've been having issues with my company. I feel like they don't, when I compare with some of my other truck driver friends that I went to school with, they're like, what the hell? Like, I kind of get screwed over a lot with some loads and having to sit and wait for a load, or you know, things like that. And I'm just really haven't been happy with my company. So kind of looking into a different company, but I've got I mean, long story short, I pretty much decided I've got to stick this company out for a little while longer until my loan is paid off, because I had to borrow money to go to school, and the company helps me pay it, and some of the other companies won't do that. So probably 3 more months or so with this company. So which, I mean, some things are better. You know, my last paycheck had 3,000 miles on it, so, but some of that was because I held the load back when I was on home time, and but still, it would have been, I guess I would have had 2,500, and that still would have been acceptable to me. So, anyways, enough about the money and me being unhappy. I'm just kind of working on being a little happier, more organized, and just doing my thing here. I thought, since I was doing paperwork, that I would kind of give you some behind the scenes idea of things that go on. Something that you guys may or may not know is that there's a lot of apps out there for truckers to help them. Their GPS is... There is one app that you can use, because a trucker can't use, you know, the same one as a car, because there's places that cars can go that truckers cannot. You know, we have higher clearance, so we need to make sure that our bridges and underpasses are at least 13 feet 6 inches high. We have to make sure that the road's wide enough and that any bridges can withhold at least 40 tons. So you pretty much have to get a GPS that is truck approved. I got one used. It's a Rand McNally. Rand McNally has a whole map system for truckers, and there's a Rand McNally. I got it used for some guy for $300, which is cheap, by the way, because the new ones that size go for like $800. So also, there's other apps that you can use when you fuel at truck stops like Love's or Pilot or TA or Petro. They usually have loyalty cards. Some of you are familiar with them because you'll use them for your personal, but they have ones for professional drivers. So you can use loyalty card and get, our company prefers to use Love's and Pilot. So if I fill up with Love's enough during the month, then I get free showers the whole next month. And I believe it's something like 1,000 gallons in a month. Maybe a little more than that, but something in that vicinity. So far, every month I've made it. This month might be a little iffy because I'm taking a whole week off at the end of the month, but so far, yeah, I get free showers at Love's all the time. Pilot has a shower program, but I don't fuel with them as much because their rewards program is not the same. Like Love's, I can get free drinks, free tire pass, which is basically that they have a system that'll check all of your tires all at once while you're fueling, and they get a tech to come out and do that for you while you're fueling. And then they give you free drinks and free showers as long as you hit what they call the platinum level. Pilot, I guess if I used it enough I would get free showers, but what I do with them, I like their showers because they seem usually cleaner. So if I need to take a shower at a Pilot, I just get enough fuel. You have to get 50 gallons of fuel to get one free shower. So I'll get enough fuel to get a free shower, and then I can take a shower at a Pilot. We don't use the TA or the Petro at all. And let's see. So they both, as far as I know, I don't know about TA and Petro because I don't use them, but Pilot and Love's both have an app that you can use as a professional driver, and they tell you, like, you can go on there and find a Love's that's close to you, or a Pilot or a Flying J that's close to you, and they're all there in the apps. And you can find out what kind of amenities they have. Like Pilot, some of the Pilots have their own hot food bars and whatnot, so you can find all that out. You can find out how many parking spaces are there. You know, get the address to it so you can put it in your GPS. My GPS does include, you know, what they call points of interest, and I can route to them. But like the newer ones, like there's a brand new Love's in South Carolina, and the only way that I could get that right now is by, you know, going onto the Love's app. So, just little things like that. There's an app that's a US Express app that keeps me in touch with my office or my dispatch even when I'm away from the truck. So basically all the communications that come to this driver tech that's here in the truck, it'll also come to my phone. And I have all that, plus all my load information. So when I go into a shipper and I need the pickup number, I have it right on my phone. Let's see, what other apps are there? There's a Weigh My Scale, that, you know, the cat scales that truckers use. There's a Weigh My Scale app, so you can actually put in all your information, and then when you're on the scale, you just hit the button. It actually saves you some time because you don't have to like park and go in and get your ticket. It all comes into you in email, and then you can just adjust your weight if you need to. Also too, probably this is what got me thinking about it, was all the paperwork that we have from each load. So let's say I get a load that's going from Knoxville to Charlotte, North Carolina. I would drive to the shipper in Knoxville. You actually, you know, pick up the load, and you also get these papers from the shipper they're called a bill of lading. It basically gives the information of what's in the load, how much it weighs, what the trailer number is, basically all your pertinent information is on this bill of lading. And usually they'll give you 2 copies. So then when you get to the destination in Charlotte, I'll give them my 2 copies. They sign one and they give it back to me, and that's my record that I have successfully delivered that load. So then, now they keep the other one, and so they, you know, for their own purposes. But on mine, I have to send it to my company as proof that I delivered the load so that I can get paid for it. So they make these cover sheets that say US Express on them. You guys are going to see this backwards because I have the camera in selfie mode. So don't freak out, okay? It's all backwards. But it says US Express on it. It has, it's a bunch of blank, you know, and I fill it in, put my truck number, all my information, where I went. Oh, that's my name, all my information, where I went to, and all that, okay? Put all that in there. And then there's an app called TransFlow Plus Mobile. TransFlow Mobile Plus. And basically, you just use it to take pictures of your paperwork and send it in digitally. If you don't want to use your phone, almost all the truck stops, the terminals, they have TransFlow Mobile Plus stations where you can go in there and scan your paperwork and send it into your company. You just have to know the code for your company to send it to them. So then you have to hang on to your paperwork just in case there was a problem. You know, I've not had one yet, but they tell me that sometimes the shipper will come back and say, you know, we never got that load or whatever. And it's like, you have to make sure that you keep your stuff. They told us to keep it for 90 days. I'm probably, I have a file folder that I got that holds basically a year's worth of stuff. So I'm probably going to just keep them for a year just to be safe because I'm a new trucker and you never know. So yeah, there's a little behind the scenes stuff, paperwork, how it gets sent in. Then I have my trusty little stapler. So I staple my cover sheet from the company to the bill of lading. After I scan them both and send them in, I staple it and I put them in my file folder. And then I have a file, then once I get done with that month, then I put the whole month in my big file folder that holds 12 months worth of stuff. It's starting to get up there. Pretty soon it's going to be too thick to keep it where I keep it, but then I'll have to find another place for it. There's also probably one of the biggest things is there is an app called Trucker's Path. It is another one for finding truck stops, places to park, rest areas, way stations. You can actually turn on the ability to see Walmart's. You know, I think that was back from when it was okay to park at Walmart overnight. So Walmarts are on there, and so if you're driving along and all of a sudden you get sleepy or you're like, oh God, I need to pee, you can pull it up and it'll show you as a dot on the map, and it'll show you what's coming up. And there'll be little pins, and you can click on the pin and it'll pull up the information. It'll be like rest area, southbound, 12 miles from there. And then when you click on the thing that comes up, it'll tell you, you know, 50 spots. And you can actually go in as a user and say, oh, I was just there and it's full, or there's 5 spots open or whatever. So you can update the parking status on it. Because parking is really probably one of the biggest problems that truck drivers face. You know, you can't park this rig just anywhere. So you have to find a place where, first of all, it has enough room for a 53-foot trailer, and also that it's okay legally and with the owners for you to park it there. So, of course, truck stops are one of the biggest places. There's been some controversy lately because the TAs have started charging for parking. I had to use one time, and it's $18 to park there at night. Now, Pilot has a program where they have reserved parking, and it'll usually be like, let's say they have 200 spaces to park. They might have 20 to 50 of the, probably not 50, 25 to 30 of those might be reserved parking. And you can reserve it if you know that that's where you're going to end up for the night, and you know it's going to be late and the truck stop might be full. You can go in there and reserve you a spot. You do have to pay for it, but it's only $12. And I've done that a few times, and it's kind of a lifesaver sometimes when you really need, you have to drive until late, but you don't know if you'll be able to find a place to park. So you reserve yourself a spot, and you know that you'll have a place to park. What other? There is an app called Truckers Slide Calculator that I have downloaded. That's my recent one, I think. My friend Mika turned me on to it. It basically, when you have to move your tandems, because you're not scaled right, it'll help you with figuring that out, because sometimes the math can be a little tricky. Did I say picky? Tricky. Sorry. It's Sunday. It's really my day off. I'm kind of being lazy today. I haven't done much but send in this paperwork. And I don't really have to do a lot because it is my day off. So it's nice to do that. I think I'm going to go, if I can get enough signal, I'm going to go catch up on some shows with my Hulu or my Netflix or something here in a few minutes. I'm trying to think if there's other apps that I use. US Express, the Transfall Plus, Pilot, Loves, Trucker Path, Weigh My Truck. Those are most of them. I guess I was just really surprised at how many there are, how many apps that there are out there that you can use to help you. Just a little bit about today and what's going on with me besides the whole thing. Our trucks that we have, they will not idle all the time. They're set to not idle when the temperature is below 65 degrees and above freezing. So last night is a good example. I'm here, my truck won't run, so I can't run the heat. My truck won't idle, I should say. It'll run, but it won't idle. So after 2 minutes, it pops up a blue screen on the speedometer area, and it'll say engine idle, truck shutting down. And then in 2 more minutes, it'll shut back. It'll completely shut itself off, and you have to run it again. So they have this thing. It's a bunk heater. Basically, it'll. I don't know what it's like. Kind of like a generator, I guess. That's actually in the truck, and it'll heat up the bunk without having to idle the engine. And I guess it's supposed to save them fuel money. Sometimes I kind of resent the whole thing because it's like nobody would tell you at your house what you could keep the temperature of your own house. And this is where I live. So there are days when I just totally resent that, but I get it. I mean, actually a lot of states it's supposed to be illegal to idle the engine, which I don't really understand because the engines are so much cleaner now than they ever used to be. You don't get that same diesel smell that I remember the day. I'm old enough that I remember, trucks and buses and that awful diesel smell, and you don't get that now. It's I don't know, it's just a whole different world. But still, I guess there's still some sort of carbon use or something, I don't know. But the bunk heater has to have fuel, so they're using fuel either way is what I see it as. But anyways, so I don't completely freeze. The bunk heater's here, and I was able to, but gosh, I've got to get home and get some winter clothes because it was so cold, and I'm not really prepared for it to be this cold. I will be coming home the 24th of October. I'll be home for a week to move out of my place that I've been staying with Sunny, and I'm just gonna put all my stuff in storage and live in the truck for a while. It just really doesn't make sense for me to pay rent for a place that I'm not at, because I've been going home like once a month for a couple of days, and it just doesn't make any sense. So, and you know, I've been still struggling for money, so I'm this way. I can, you know, go get my glasses updated. It's been 2 years. You know, things like that, and go to the doctor. Just other things. Give me some new clothes and boots and gloves. Anyways, I'm at 20 minutes, so I need to go ahead and get off here. I will try to update a little more often than I have been, but I love you all. Mother Trucker out. Bye-bye.